Welcome to the Emergent Gamer Podcast. This is episode 241, and this is Lock and Key here, back again. I did say that I was going to be back almost immediately after the last episode, which was the Games of the Year.
Games of the Year.
And then it's been about 4 or 5 weeks since that episode, so
Yeah,
I do apologize.
We sent a pigeon.
Yeah,
to make sure.
I made it here, but yeah, I'm excited to be here. But let's get the intros out of the way. Who do I got sitting next to me?
I'm Neo Ayoshi.
And who's over here?
This is Felix Hergood.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. No Trip Zero tonight.
No.
Trip is busy.
He's on assignment.
Yeah, he's on assignment, but I am here in his stead.
Seriously, though, if you're new to the show and you started listening a few weeks ago and you don't recognize this voice, this is Lock and Key, one of the founders of the show. He and I, back in 2014, got this whole thing rolling, and now it's burgeoned into a community in a Discord, and
It's a thing.
Lots of people who stream, and it's fun. So.
Yeah, we started this by drinking and talking about video games.
Yeah, we were drunk in the early episodes. We were pretty hammered.
Lots of drunk.
Lots of drunk.
When
I don't really drink anymore.
When I was a guest at
Drink
first.
all the time.
You do?
Yeah,
I
same.
drink probably 2 drinks a night now. It's pretty bad.
When I was
actually.
first a guest, I would come over and I would bring I don't know. Do you remember this in your old apartment?
Yeah.
I'd bring hey, I got a bottle of whiskey here,
Yeah.
guys. Let's have a nice
Well,
time.
used to get smashed every time we recorded.
When we started, we would always make sure that we bought liquor for the show and that we would buy pizza.
Yeah, every time.
And
Who the fuck did we think we were?
I spent a lot of money on pizza because I would always forget to get money from you guys.
Yeah, like you felt obligated to feed everybody.
Yeah, for a whole year.
Yeah, like I would get buffalo chicken fingers all the time. Every time we recorded. What a naive approach we took it. Well, that's because when we first started doing this, it was really for our own amusement.
Yeah, it was just entertainment.
It wasn't really we didn't expect it to continue and snowball and go from there.
I had been doing a dart league before the show started, in early 2014. I couldn't when we started doing this, I couldn't do the dart league anymore.
Well, because you were trying to get me to go with you to the dart league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, why don't we do a podcast instead? And
that's it. That's the origin of the Emergent Gamer.
That was it. Yeah.
Here we are.
No dart league. The podcast.
So what do we got going on tonight?
So first, let me do some housekeeping.
Yeah, please do.
YouTube is up and running.
Love
We're
it.
full steam ahead of that.
Yeah.
Put in the shows. We're doing breakouts of the shows. You just have to you have to Google
Google
search
Emergent
for
Gamer,
Emergent Gamer.
YouTube.
Yeah, we need
You're
more
gonna find
followers there because then
Subscribers.
subscribers, and then we can get the official tag.
Smash that subscribe button, people.
But I'm also doing breakouts of the EG Smash League, and I'm throwing those on the YouTube.
I saw
also.
those. I saw those.
Yeah,
I try and go in and and watch some of the videos.
2 more will be going up later tonight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to that as soon as I get home.
Cool,
I already got them downloaded and ready to get up. Subscribe on all the podcast networks.
Yeah, we're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. That's our primary places right now. And if you enjoy the show already, if you haven't subscribed, please tell your friends if you've already been watching the show.
Sharesies.
I don't know what I just said. I wasn't speaking in proper sentences.
No, you definitely were.
Did I?
Were you ready to turn to me and talk to me while
No,
we were
I
still
said
talking?
I said I don't even know what the sentence was that I uttered. I started seeing red.
you were saying where to go to find the audio.
Yes, we're good. Go do
And I think the other thing is if you do enjoy listening, in terms of our own metrics, reviews that you leave do certainly help.
Mm-hmm.
So if you listen through iTunes, any reviews that you could leave for us would be super impactful in terms of getting the podcast out to a wider audience. So thank you for doing that preemptively if you can. Obviously not obligated. So
How about we start the show with a question from?
I love questions.
From the audience.
Oh, good.
Nimbus writes in and asks us: is peanut butter a liquid or a solid?
Nimbus,
Thoughts?
man. It's for sure a solid.
Solid. I'd go solid too.
Yeah.
It's not liquid. You're not drinking peanut butter.
You're not drinking. You can't
I
drink peanut
won't
butter.
drink peanut butter.
Well, you can.
I think it's physically impossible.
It's solid.
It's a solid.
Solid.
I mean, it is in a liquefied state, right?
It's in its process of liquefying.
Well, it's in this in between. It's not. You know what I mean? That's why the question. I guess that's why the question exists. But it's definitely not a liquid.
Well, it's oil based, so whatever oil is.
Is it peanut oil?
It's probably peanut oil. Yeah.
Yeah, it's some kind of oil. Oil is a substance, but I don't know if it's a liquid or a solid.
Well, oil would be a liquid.
Is oil a liquid?
Sure, but when you mash the peanuts
Into
with
the
the oil, it becomes
Chemistry.
chemistry. Yeah, it becomes
Right.
chemistry.
It becomes chemistry.
So I think it would be a. I think it's a
His
solid.
next question is: does Lightning McQueen have car insurance or life insurance? Can't you have both?
Well, that the question is Lightning McQueen is a car from the movie Cars.
Yeah.
So
I've never seen those movies.
I haven't either,
Yeah,
but
so
I knew who
he-
Lightning McQueen was.
So he's a car.
Isn't he an actor? Wasn't he like an actor?
No, that's
Steve
Steve
McQueen.
McQueen.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right, that's what I was thinking of. I think. Yeah.
Lightning McQueen. So he would have car insurance because he's a car. Duh.
Gotcha.
His car insurance would act as life
Would be life insurance.
Sure, because if he totaled himself, right, that would just be like bodily injury for your life insurance.
He would have to use
his car insurance.
Yeah.
because he'd have to get fixed.
Car insurance is
So
life
he would have to get
insurance.
fixed.
Yeah,
In that world.
definitely car insurance.
And his
for
last
sure.
question is: are eyebrows considered facial hair?
100%.
I'm gonna go with a yes.
Yeah.
Of course, they're on your face. It's on your face.
Nimbus,
It's on
do
your
better.
fucking face.
Nimbus, these were easier than last
yeah.
week.
These were
but
not brain teasers.
But I think the complicated one was definitely the peanut butter. It was the most complex.
That
The
was
other
a
ones,
complex one, yeah.
the other ones, I think
A
we
little more debate behind.
maybe
that
we're
one.
just getting better.
All right. So and then now we're going to some gaming questions. You ready for this?
Yeah.
The Witcher 3 sales have skyrocketed. This is from Channing Tater.
What up, Channing?
Channing
on Twitter.
Tater.
The Witcher 3
Channing
sales
Tater.
and average player count skyrocketed after the Netflix show. What video game franchise needs a live-action show? What would you like to see live, like a Netflix or like a series?
Oh, well, I already said, and I think they're already doing this. I already said that The Last of Us.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Like, like just rather than do another game, just do a show.
Do you think that would be
Is that too-
Walking Dead-like?
For sure, but if they did it better, which wouldn't be hard because Walking Dead sucks.
Yeah.
Shit, shop. Sorry, I don't watch it anymore.
I think you
I don't
could
like
do it. The question is would we be able to handle? I mean, you could. I mean, I don't think you could hire now in the current storyline with her grown up. You could probably hire the chick who actually plays Ellie to be Ellie.
I forgot.
She did it on stage.
Ashley Johnson.
Right.
No.
Yeah, Ashley Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah, so The Last of Us would be good. What other? I'm
What
trying to
show?
think. That was going to be my answer.
I would prefer. I know they've done movies, but Tomb Raider would probably be better as a show, or Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed as a series,
Yeah, it would
with
be
different
way better
seasons,
as a series.
like
yeah.
different seasons
representing different time periods.
different actors.
Yeah.
You could do it like anthology style, like
Yeah, that'd be
American Horror Story or
That'd
whatever.
be pretty dope. But I would.
Right.
The problem is it'd have to be a show like Game of Thrones with that kind of budget, and I don't know for that intellectual property if they could pull it in. I mean, they're doing it with The Witcher, right?
Yeah.
That probably has a hefty budget on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a crazy budget.
But it would be really cool to see all the different time periods. I mean, there's tons of shows that have done that. Where Doctor Who is probably the most prolific show where they basically the setting is a character on the show. Like pretty much every episode is like a new setting.
Yeah,
Right.
and that always allows other cast people to come in, like other guests.
Yeah, so I
every
think it would
episode.
be Assassin's Creed would be really good at like diversifying episodes and
What
making.
about like God of War, or would that be good?
God damn, these things now they play like they're TV shows.
They do.
They do, yeah.
Any
that's
video. The thing about video games is that they're
episodic and
episodic. Like
and I think a lot of these
they're
characters.
interstitial's the word.
sure, right, but
Right.
they play like you would like you're going through an episode.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Like just take my dad a couple years ago. I told him about the Last of Us cutscenes, how they were made into a movie.
Yeah,
How you take all the cutscenes and make it into a movie, and he sat down and watched it
dude.
on YouTube.
Metal Gear Solid does that too. You can
Yeah.
watch all the. It's like 3 hours like of cutscenes
Right.
for like all the games people like put it.
But like
put it into a video.
they're already thinking that way, and I know.
Shit, Metal Gear Solid would be cool.
I'll tell you.
It would be
who's-
good.
Yeah, I think they're making a movie though. I think they're trying.
That would make sense.
Yeah, I think they're trying to do that.
I think the person who's already thinking this way about the medium is Kojima. Like he's the one who's thinking the most about this because he has an obsession with film, and I think he already thinks that the medium can do a transition. I mean, that's
Right.
why his games feel so much like their films. Or I don't know if he's thinking of TV, but he has a passion for film,
Right.
and I think he sees his games as making the leap, or like maybe creating a cross relationship.
Wait, so you're talking about Kojima, right?
Kojima.
Yeah.
Like
He-
Death Stranding feels very, very cinematic.
Oh, you should play the Metal Gear games.
Right.
Because
Right.
it's
Of course,
all about that.
yeah.
But he even said after Death Stranding came out that he wants to transition into some kind of film crossover with his studio.
And I think he could do it.
I think he could do it too.
I think the time is nigh for that to happen. So
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
One more question. This is fun, but Tripp's not here, so he's going to be left out. I guess I'll replace you with him. Channing Tater says Locke can't play Destiny for a year, Neo can't play Monster Hunter for a year, and Felix can't play Fallout for a year. Which is most likely to happen, and who caves first?
Well, it's definitely Felix is going to cave first.
wait. Say this again. Now.
You can't play your game of choice for a year. So for you, it's Fallout. For me, it's Monster Hunter right now. That's what I'm into, and then Destiny, because that would have been Tripp's question.
And I can fit into that.
You sure can.
But so we're all agreeing that I would cave first.
Let's pretend we had a bet, and we can't do it. Who caves first? I think you cave first.
I do think you cave first. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm also somebody who's most likely to play a lot of different types of games. Like Tripp never plays anything else.
No,
really.
Trip has been playing a lot more than Destiny recently.
Has he?
Yeah.
He's been on like No Man. He's been doing No Man's Sky and
Stardew.
and Stardew.
But probably I'm definitely one. I'm apt.
I think
My
Neo
addictions get
is
me.
the furthest because I think he could not play Monster Hunter.
I can totally not play Monster Hunter. I
Right.
could be like, yeah, all right. Find something else.
No, but I'm definitely apt to cave on addictions.
I would say it would either be Trip or you,
Yeah.
and I think
We'll go with
I do think you play more games than Trip. You stream more games than Trip in terms of variety.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you do that,
So you're saying he's playing a lot of these games when he's home?
I think he
by
plays a lot
himself.
of games off stream.
Off stream too. Yeah.
But he's been doing some No Man's Sky streams. He did Temtem recently. He's done Stardew. I watched him do
Sims.
Stardew. Yeah,
Like
so
Sims.
he's been branching out a lot more. But it would be one of you two caving first. It's hard to say whom.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably me.
Maybe.
Probably you.
I always
think
go
you'd be
back to
more-
Fallout.
I really do love Fallout, and
We have to put money
here's
on
the
it
other
to really
thing.
be sure.
I'm playing Fallout despite no one giving a shit that I'm playing it. Like, I'll just,
Yeah, it's
you know, I'll just be in there like playing it and nobody's watching. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, fuck it.
This is
I'm
what
having
I
a-
want to do.
I'm having a ball.
I want to do this. Yeah. Why
Yeah.
not?
And I definitely don't need to play Destiny. I'm excited to start playing Destiny again when we'll talk about why.
that
But
soon, yeah.
I hadn't played any Destiny recently in the past few weeks because I've been doing other stuff. But I am very different than Trip and Destiny though. So
For sure.
Right.
So how about we get into the games, guys?
Let's do it.
Felix, tell me what you're up to.
Oh, what am I up to?
Yeah, let's. You got a big list here. You wanna give us the long and short of it?
Okay. So I need you guys to pay attention to me throughout the show because I think I've realized that I have developed a facial tic for when I'm live streaming.
Okay.
I don't think I'm doing it now because
Is it when you're playing a game?
The reason I do it is because I wear these like Gunner gaming glasses. That's not a product placement ad thing.
We're not
but-
being
Right,
sponsored.
right. We're not being sponsored by Gunner, but I wear the Gunner glasses for blue light. You know.
Yeah, I have a pair. Actually, I have my
Right.
pair right here. Actually.
However, I was watching. I had a couple of weeks ago. One of my mods comment on it. They said you have like a facial tic. You keep doing this like weird like smile thing over and over again. And I went, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not doing that.
Is
You
it
know,
just your
whatever.
focus face? Like, is it you just?
I
focus-
watched my stream today after I finished, and I looked at it and I realized because I'm wearing these glasses, I keep like, I don't know. I do like this thing with my cheeks where I push the glasses up with my cheeks. And
like literally.
it looks like I'm smiling the whole time I'm streaming. And like, so I just realized today that I have this like weird facial tic when I'm live streaming because I wear these glasses. So what would you do? If you realize you look ridiculous when you're live, would you stop wearing the glasses or continue wearing them to protect your eyesight?
You continue to wear them to protect your eyesight. Do the responsible thing, man. I mean,
'Cause
you don't look that
I don't-
ridiculous.
Well, what do you do when you have a weird facial tic? Like, I don't know, man.
I think you're probably overanalyzing.
Yeah, but
You do that.
I do fucking
You
overanalyze
do
everything.
definitely overanalyze.
You overanalyze a lot. I think it's okay. I think your eyesight's more important than the vanity of the tick that you may have. But
I'll tell you one thing. All last week I've had a just like a twitch in my right eye. It's been bugging the hell out of me. It's not doing it now.
That's noticeable. This is something that I didn't even know I was doing. A facial tic is something that somebody doesn't know they're doing. And I was just basically like, I started watching my stream. Somebody had told me about it a couple weeks ago, and I watched my stream today, and I'm like, holy shit, I do have a facial tic. I'm doing this weird.
We're gonna have to try and see some evidence of this.
We'll check that out. We'll check that. What are you trying to do right now?
Nothing. I'm trying.
He's trying to log into.
So
which I don't have the password.
I went down and I hung out with family. It was my mom's birthday. We all hung out and everything. And then I brought my Nintendo Switch. Obviously, I didn't stream or anything. But I brought my Nintendo Switch and I dug back into Breath of the Wild. I can't believe how good that fucking game is, dude.
That game is so fucking good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I need to buy
Did you end up playing it?
I don't have a
He
Switch.
doesn't have a Switch.
You never played it.
But more and more, I don't want to take too much away from you, but more and more I found myself like I can't always be at my PC. You know what I mean? Like I can't always be there. And I would be able to play games more if I could just do it on the couch. You know, if I buy a Switch, it would not be for like dock mode. I would never dock it.
Right.
It would be a portable game.
It would be a portable game.
Yeah,
that I could, you know, on the couch while my wife watches garbage television or something. You know what I mean? Because part of the problem is like the seclusion of being on my PC. So Breath of the Wild would be the first game that I play, though, for sure.
It's so
a
good.
It's a must play.
So I bought the DLC for it. Which
right.
Do you really know, Neo, what the DLC adds to the game?
I do. I played it.
Okay, you played it all?
Yeah, I did.
So there's those stories. They're like tales or rumors that have been added throughout the world.
Yeah.
But there's more to that, and is that post-endgame?
Kind of. One thing that happens is like a meteor strike comes down. You get some new extra armor. Missions to get like better and cooler armor. Another dungeon shows up. You get a mission to get the motorcycle. And yes, I said motorcycle.
Oh, there's a motorcycle in there.
There's a fucking motorcycle. Yeah, you do this other dungeon, and I think that's like the reward you get. And it uses like.
Can you get that earlier?
If that's a good
what
question.
You don't have to use a horse.
I don't know. I played it after I finished the game.
Oh right, yeah.
So I went back.
I have no idea.
But I guess the like once if you bought it and you start a new game, I guess it's there. Like right, it's like just there. So yeah, I would assume so.
Let's just have to find where it is.
It's fueled by like ancient materials that you find, like the ancient.
Right,
materials.
I definitely don't have enough of those yet.
No, definitely not.
I just started getting ancient materials.
So we're like past like the post-hype stages of that game, and
Right.
I noticed a lot of people like they loved it when it came out, but a lot of people talk about it like, oh, it's so boring and open and empty and stuff. In its execution, like there's not anything to do.
Who says that?
People I interact with on the internet.
They're critical and fucking
They're
unnecessarily.
100% wrong.
I don't know what they're talking about.
The game is vast in nature though, and there is.
It is definitely, yeah.
It's vast, but like.
But it's peaceful.
It's that's part of the whole mood, right? Like that's the whole vibe of
You
the
can
game.
unlock. See, the only thing that I would think would be valid in that is the argument that there's, maybe not enough fast travel points.
Yeah.
But
maybe.
they eventually come in.
No, there's tons.
Start unlocking the shrines.
Exactly.
And then you can just fast travel wherever you want. So.
But like people thought it was like lonely to travel the land, and there wasn't much happening in the world. But at the same time, I feel like
maybe that's just people who are constantly playing online games with other people. They're in a crowded environment.
or they're used to like the Ubisoft model, which they shove as much stuff in like a tight, large map as possible. But I think the game is all about like that lonely journey, kind of like Death Stranding in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's about that journey you take and you make your adventure, right? You decide that I'm going to experiment here. I'm going to go over here and do this.
Dude, this time around I went in and I started doing shrines, and I ended up getting into shrines that I never got into in my last playthrough. Like the first mistake I made is I didn't realize that you couldn't have more than one save file.
No, yeah, you had to erase everything.
So I went in and erased my previous save file, not realizing I did that. And I was like, I guess we're starting over.
Yep.
So I started the whole fucking thing over.
You can't do more than one?
Or you can make an account. You can make a new account to do it.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to do that. That's fine. It doesn't matter. I started
Yeah, you
over.
get to experience it all again.
Yeah. It's
all right.
It's fun.
And there's no going back.
Completely did a different path. I'm heavy on trying to find the climbing gear early, because the climbing gear is key.
Oh,
Makes you climb faster.
Yeah. No less stamina usage.
Right, and I ended up getting the hat for that really quick and early from one of the shrines. I just randomly upon
you do find it early.
random upon it. So it's great. It's great.
But yeah, and I love the puzzles. I love those shrines.
It's not too hard either.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are.
So
they get hard.
They get hard.
Yeah.
You might have said this, so forgive me, but are you just getting back into it, or you never started it?
Oh, I did.
Okay.
Oh no, I played it.
You played a lot of it.
A lot of it, yeah.
Right.
Well, okay, a lot is relative. So there's this part where you have to just free the divine beasts.
4 of them.
Yeah, you got to free these 4 divine beasts. I never got to a divine beast,
Oh, dude.
so I didn't get really
Because-
in terms of like people who played and really housed the game and
Right.
played it to the end.
That was another
Like,
complaint about
how
them.
far into the game is the divine beast? I mean, you get the quest minute 1.
Pretty much right away. Like, you're the one who decides if you want to go do it.
If I want to go do them, yeah.
Exactly. You just
So you just ran around doing other shit.
Yeah,
like you always
yeah.
do.
yeah.
But well, no. My argument was I didn't want to go into the divine beast with like 3 hearts and like no stamina.
This
But
is
you
what you
could.
do in everything, though.
Yeah, I want to
you
be.
just- you
I want to
just-
be powered up when I go in.
But it's the first fucking quest, dude. It's designed for you to be 3 hearts and no stamina.
Not only that, the divine beast.
Oh, the
give you-
divine beast is like supposed to be. You're supposed to be low level when you do it.
Well,
No,
it's-
well,
I mean, if it's
It's
one of the
relative.
if it's one of the first quests you get, wouldn't you level up?
But
as
No,
you do
no.
the
The
quest?
first quest you get is kill Ganon. That's the first.
That's the
quest.
first
All
quest
right,
you get.
got it.
The
But
game says if you want to go do it, go ahead.
but
fuck.
look, this is what the game. This is what it does. Once it lets you go, it tells you to go to the valley. You know, the city between the valley, the town between the valley, right?
Yeah.
Which is the first village. That you see.
Karenko or whatever?
Kakariko village,
Kakariko,
I think.
yeah.
And then from there, you talk to people, and then they tell you, oh, the people. I think the first divine beast. It like point. It kind of like funnels you that way.
It
like,
does.
It suggests you go to the water people. I forgot their names.
Yeah, I'm following that now.
Right, and so
more closely than I did before.
So it kind of like points you in a direction it wants you to go,
Yeah.
and you can choose obviously what you want to do.
I veered the fuck off.
You
that
should do
path.
the divine beast
First
because
time
they
through.
gives you cool powers. You get sweet powers from doing it. Armor, special armor, just by being in that area and doing all the things in those areas.
Yeah, I
get
didn't
things.
think of that. I was like, didn't
happens.
think, hey, maybe when you free the divine beast, it's going to help you.
Of course not.
Yeah,
I got really obsessed with taking all the pictures,
sure.
going around,
Hey man, everyone plays the game
making
their
my
own way.
Sheikah,
Whatever you need to do to have
making
fun.
my Sheikah sensor sense some fish for me. I got to find fish.
Is that innuendo?
No,
Oh, cool.
Literally-
He's leaning over with his
It
hand
looked
in
like
front of his face.
it
He's like,
looked like he was.
let's do some fish. Just want my Sheikah sensor to find some
the
fish.
Sheikah sensor. The Sheikah. That's a tongue twister. The Sheikah sensor can be set to find specific items in the world eventually. So you can set it to find like collectible items. You know, certain type of fish for like crafting certain recipes and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I got into that, the meta of that.
There's a lot of that.
Of course you did,
It's
man.
real good.
Of course I did.
But there's
yeah.
like
Of course you
whole
did,
other
dude.
environments that you got to check out, dude. And
I'm gonna.
there's the desert area, the snow area,
I love the snow area.
forest area,
Yeah.
the tropical forest area. There's an island that is like you see way in the distance that you got to fly to. It's the survival island. Dude, there's a lot of stuff that there's a lot of crazy shit in that
I've
game.
never been to that.
It's an island I
No
don't
shit, you haven't played the game. Come on, dude.
Didn't you like give that like one of your game of the year awards that year? When we were doing
I
that?
might have, yeah.
Sure.
'Cause it was
Just
really
like Death
great.
Stranding.
It was really great.
Just like
Which I haven't finished either.
No, you sure haven't. You sure have not. But
busy
no,
playing
it's a
Fallout.
really cool island that you see in
Yeah.
the distance, and once you get enough stamina in the game, you can fly out there with your hang glider.
Yeah.
And then once you land on it, it goes, "This is a trial." And
Oh,
it's-
I've done that.
Okay,
I did
yeah,
do that.
it takes away all of your armor. And
Takes
stuff.
away all your shit,
All your
and then
shit.
you got to survive out there.
It's
yeah,
awesome.
I did do that one actually.
See, I don't know what people are talking about on the internet. The game's really fucking good.
It's a really fucking.
It's
good
really
game.
fucking good.
Oh yeah, I mean, if I do get a Switch, when I get a Switch, it'll be the first thing that I play for sure.
Happen.
I know we got to move on,
Get
but
the
I
mini.
did have one.
I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did want to make one comment related to Fallout 76, just to get your thoughts on
You
it.
get one comp. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Talk
Listen,
about what
listen
you-
to this. Strangest thing happened today. So
Okay.
you know,
Strange and Fallout, weird.
you know how I have Fallout first on both consoles.
Yes.
You know about that, right?
Sure.
Okay. So I have the membership.
Don't.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not. I wasn't gonna unpack
We've
it.
talked about it.
Yeah. I wasn't,
You
I
don't
wasn't
have
gonna
to. You don't have to go deep in it. But with the membership, with the Fallout First membership,
Yeah.
you get a bunch of things. But one main thing you get is private worlds.
Right.
So the weirdest thing occurred today. So I was live all morning, streaming Private World PlayStation. So I was doing all that, and we were having a good time. At the end of the stream, I end it. I get a screenshot from David Cable, who I play on a regular basis with on Xbox, and it said Felix Hergood. When he took the screenshot, it was like 10 in the morning when I was in the middle of my stream. It said Felix Hergood, like online, Private World.
On his Xbox.
on the Xbox.
So you were playing on PlayStation.
And I was on PlayStation in the private world. The Xbox was fucking turned off.
You promise?
I swear to God, it's been turned off all day.
You promise?
No, it's been turned off all day. I even
right.
checked it after he sent me the text.
There's a link somewhere. So the same thing happens like when I play games on my PC.
Yeah,
Right.
That's exactly what I was going to.
So I know that's the same thing because it's both Microsoft, but there's a link somewhere.
Well, the link is the Bethesda account's the same.
That's
then there you go.
There you go.
So that's the link. But the thing that
if
I wanted
your
to
Xbox
ask
account is connected to your Bethesda account, then yes.
do you think that's because there might be some secret code written in there or code they might be working with that would make it so that you only need one Fall First membership?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But the platforms are too different. I would imagine it would be difficult.
I don't think Bethesda's
I mean,
at that point of crossing the streams. So
I mean, they did
right.
it with.
They're
it
also
happened
making
with
double the money right now.
Sure,
so,
they sure are. Off you. They sure are.
I mean, it happened with Destiny, so it could happen.
It did happen with Destiny.
Yeah, it could happen. But yeah, that's the link because the same thing happens with Xbox. Like people that I used to play with years ago will message me and be like, "Oh man, you're back on your Xbox." And I'm like, "No, I'm on my PC.
Yeah,
because I'm not actually playing Overwatch on Xbox.
I technically have an Xbox Live account, but
Yeah.
it's because I'm signed into my PC.
Yeah.
So people I'm friends with on Xbox, like you could probably see me on your buddy list playing.
It would
whatever.
show. Yeah, cool. We would show up.
And actually, the Xbox thing actually tracks every game that you pretty much
Everything.
turn on. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything inside of like it'll do Xbox games from there, but like if I'm playing something in the Blizzard app or the Steam store, it shows up.
Have you checked out the GOG launcher yet? The GOG launcher?
I have not. I've heard a lot about it.
So I use it exclusively.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, and what it does, Felix, is all these launchers on the PC.
Oh, it launches all the launchers?
You just load them all into GOG.
Well, no, it feeds. It's an aggregate.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And it also started taking buddy lists and then aggregating all my buddy lists. So it'll do Xbox, PlayStation, GOG, Steam.
Do I have to be invited to that, or I could just sign up?
It's now open.
It is now open.
You can just download it.
Yeah.
GOG 2.0. And what it lets you do is it also lets you tag games. So you can put your own tags on them and create your own categories. I'll open it here on my laptop. I can't show the stream or the visuals, but it's cool because I can now have like I did one for battle royales. I did one for like shooters, multiplayer only, RPGs, and all these different tags that I throw on here. So like I got VR ones now just because I want to see all my VR games.
Right.
Like I have one specifically for Assassin's Creed.
That's cool.
And I can just be like, I'm gonna look for all my Assassin's Creed games, and it'll just pull up all my Assassin's Creed games. Oh, and it tells me what platform it's on.
Oh, wow.
And I can change how it's formatted. I can group them all together. I don't need to look at it.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna download this. That's nice. Because now I'm at the point where I have at least 1 to 2 games in each goddamn launcher.
Exactly.
Right, like I'm launching Origin, I'm launching the Blizzard app, I'm launching all these different.
Another thing it does really cool is if you own the same game across multiple platforms, it actually tells you that it exists and it will it'll stack it. So and you can ask, and when you launch it, it'll go, which one do you want to launch? Where do you want to launch it?
That's cool. I also like the aggregate
my
friends
buddy
list. Yeah, the buddy list is nice.
Yeah,
because
Steam,
I built such a widespread buddy list of players in the Blizzard app from when Destiny was on Blizzard, and I lost all of those friends.
Going over to Steam.
Right? Like our core group I kept, obviously, because we were chatting in Discord, but players that I met along the way, I'm not, I no longer can see them because I'm not using the Blizzard app really ever unless I'm, we're getting into Overwatch again a little bit. So,
you have been?
Yeah,
a little bit.
We've been playing a little bit.
That's a good segue.
Yeah. I mean, I can.
Yeah, what's up with you, dude?
I don't want to unpack Tarkov.
Because
I want to hear your thoughts
we
first.
We can do it together.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I said earlier, Destiny I put down because it's not in the best state overall for PvP. So I've been playing a lot of Siege. Probably that's the game I've been playing the most is Rainbow Six Siege.
I've been seeing that in the Discord.
Yeah, I've been playing that.
You guys
the
are
most.
always like, hey, anyone want to do Siege?
It's just a really good shooter.
It's a good competitive.
It's a good competitive shooter.
High skill ceiling shooter, I'd say.
I would agree because of the way that game is played, because of the destructive environment of maps and watching the competitive players inside of Siege, like watching them play the game. I'm pretty sure they're the best esports players that
it's like
that are
playing
around.
Chess and shooting.
Yeah, so like, have you played
time.
Siege ever?
No.
So Siege is you normally play plant the bomb, right? Like that's the game type. It's 5v5. If one team wipes out the other team, the round's over. It's multiple rounds. It's best of 5, I believe, or best of 7.
Something like that.
But the environments are destructive dependent
I've
on the
seen
ability
that.
dependent on
I've
the
watched
abilities,
it.
right? So for example, if the bomb point is on the first floor of a building and this building has 2 floors, there's certain characters like Sledge that has a sledgehammer, or Buck who has a underbarrel shotgun can blow out the floorboards from above you to get different angles, or they'll shoot out walls to get different angles. My point is when you watch esports, when you watch the competitive aspect of Siege, these guys will literally hold these angles through tiny little bullet holes in the wall waiting for player movement, and then we'll just, blind spray through a wall and kill people, and it's absurd.
I'm not very good at this game.
Their level of communication, their shot, the way they play their characters, it's super in depth. But on top of that, it's really fun to play because it's a good tactical shooter. Probably the best tactical shooter currently out.
Yeah, it reminds me of what it did back when Rainbow Six first came out. You remember? Do you ever play those ones?
The one on original Xbox?
Well, I played it on PC, but yeah.
Yeah, like original Rainbow Six.
Original Rainbow
Yes,
Six.
I played a
Like
ton of it
the
online.
Las Vegas one?
No,
but
before that.
Before New Vegas.
Before New Vegas.
So Rainbow Six had what? There were 3 before New Vegas?
Yeah.
I think 3.
The actual tactical.
Was that called
team
New
games.
Vegas?
It was called New Vegas, yeah, wasn't it?
No, New Vegas is Fallout.
New Vegas is fall. It is Las Vegas, you're right.
Yeah, then you're
Is
right.
it Las Vegas?
I gotta look it up now.
You're probably
I
right.
thought it was called Rainbow.
You're probably
Six.
right. Or is it just Vegas?
I think it's just Vegas.
It's just Vegas. The Las Vegas is what's
Yeah, it's
throwing me through a
Yeah,
loop.
it's
It's
just
Vegas. Yeah.
What was the actual title?
Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas.
Oh, that's.
But
what
the
it was.
original game, which was for me, it was an old school PC game. It was a game where before you would play, you would look at a map and you would go, okay, this is where the team is going to breach, and we're going to move in to save the hostages or get the bomb, and that was the game. You would plan out the mission first and your mission, yeah, and then you would execute it, and you would try and blow a door down, flashbang the room, move in, take all the corners, right?
Right.
This game, Siege, takes that and adds the multiplayer competitive nature to it in a real time.
Yeah.
Right? Because the first phase is you take a drone and everybody sends their drones in. They got to scope the area out, look for the bombs, look for everything where the player's setting up. They're setting traps up. They're protecting everything, right? Then you move in, and then you all, if you're good, you can all
So wait,
coordinate your
is it a
assault.
point counterpoint type thing where are both teams going for the same bomb?
So it's
attackers and defenders.
attack and defend. So
And
the defenders are
swap.
able to
Set the bomb somewhere.
Well, no, they have points of interest, right? And they're able to barricade, right? They might throw up. So every wall, for the most part, is destructible.
But the spot where the bomb is randomizes.
Correct. At
Or-
different points on the map, there's about 4 to 6 different spots that it will be.
Okay.
And you have 30 seconds, I think it's 30 seconds, to drone in and figure out where the bomb is, or you're going in blind, you don't know where it is as an attacker. On defense, you have 30 seconds to reinforce. So you get each person gets 2 slots to reinforce walls with metal, meaning they can't be breached, right, unless there's a character on the attacking side that has the ability to break down metal walls. But only 2 characters have that ability.
There's 20 characters,
it's
classes per side you can pick. too.
Teams are 5.
5v5. So it's essentially each attacker has a defender that counters the attacker's ability.
Sounds like it's like Overwatch in the sense that if you want to be truly competitive, you have to make sure you have one of each class.
There's a
on
lot. There's a lot of counter
on the
picking.
squad.
That
There's
happens.
yeah. So yeah, I've been playing a ton of that. And then
It sounds like there'd be a lot of hate if somebody was like,
Oh, you should-
joined a team and then was like,
you should see our
You can't
text.
pick that character. It's my character. Like that.
You
kind
should
of
see
thing.
our text chat. Our text chat gets spicy.
Real spicy.
yeah.
No, it's the most fun. So you'll if we're playing a game if it's a lobby of 3 or 4 or 5 of us, and people start talking shit, we're keyboard warriors. You just hear everybody just typing on their keyboards furiously, trying to, and it's just a wall of us all shit talking. It's absolutely hilarious. We do the same thing in Overwatch now too.
I have a lot of
It's
fun
brutal.
when that happens.
But yeah, we started doing Overwatch again too. I've been trying to contribute in Diamond Jab's community night each week.
Oh, yeah.
Because he does Fridays are his community streams, and he rotates games. So he usually does COD, he does Overwatch, he does Rainbow Six now.
All on PC, right?
All on PC. Yeah. So I've been trying to do that. So that's got me back into Overwatch. I still love Overwatch, man. It's still a great game. I won't play it. I won't play it by myself. Like I'll play Siege by myself because I really enjoy it. Overwatch I will only play if the squad's playing.
Is your main still the guy with the guns?
Reaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still play Reaper.
Guns in the gun game.
Yeah. The last time I played, I was playing
but
Reaper.
like
he's got the dual.
Reaper's
shots.
like you would argue what's the defensive? What defensive like quality does Reaper have?
He's just a DPS character. I mean,
Right,
he's
that's
just
all he
able to
does,
kill
right?
tanks effectively,
Mm-hmm.
and they've nerfed him a bunch. But so those have been the two. Like Rainbow Six has been really it for me for the most part since I stopped playing Destiny, and then on top of that, I've been doing Tarkov.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so I know Neo wanted to talk about Tarkov as well because
I've heard a lot about it, but not from the man who loves it the most.
yeah, it's funny. I was listening.
Me?
I was re-listening to the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So I watched you guys last week, and then I was re-listening to the podcast on the way home from work, and you were like, I'm getting the itch to get Tarkov, and I was like, yeah, you are.
Yeah,
you are.
Yeah.
So I saw that Neo. He said it in the Discord that he bought it, so we teamed up the
really
other night.
ticked off. I bought it, and then it went on sale.
I know. I'm
3
so
days
sorry.
later.
Yeah,
I
20%.
waited so long too, and I was like, 20%. I'll just do it. And I looked if I could like return and like.
You can't do it.
No, they're no.
The only thing that you could do would be that if there's another sale and we really get into it even more,
Get the upgrade?
Get the upgrade. Because I was gonna get the upgrade with the 20% off, but I was like, I'm still not playing it like a lot to invest in the extra space and stuff like that. So I didn't do the upgrade yet.
What does the upgrade get you?
Storage.
So the biggest thing is your stash, your hideout, like how much stuff you can store. Because when you leave a raid, when you loot inside of a raid, how much do you know about Tarkov?
I know that you go in, there are people in there that look like the enemy, and then there are people who are actually the enemy, NPCs that are the other way around. There's players that look like NPCs, and then NPCs are also there, and everything's a threat.
Correct. Yeah. So
and then when you die, you lose all the shit that you have on you.
Right. Exactly. So if you make it out of a raid with a bunch of loot, that loot has to go somewhere. Because if you just hit continue, you lose all of it as well. You have to move the loot from your person to your stash.
A lot of manual management that occurs.
It's Tetris, really.
I love that.
Oh yeah.
I do it in
storage Tetris.
I spent 35 minutes last night, trying to go
slotting
to sleep. Like I was so ready to go to bed, but I was like, this doesn't look right. I need to reorganize
That's
this.
how I am in Fallout every day.
So the biggest thing is stash space, right? So you have a very limited amount of room when you buy the base game.
This is very familiar to me.
Right. So if you buy the higher edition, you get significantly more space.
Which I did.
Right. So that's one. The other thing is they start you off with more in-game money.
But it's not unlimited space.
It is not unlimited. No, well, that would be too much. That'd be too easy.
Over in Fallout, you got the sweet limited space, unlimited space.
So that's the biggest thing, and the other stuff like that is I think you start off with better standing with the in-game traders. You get more money to start off. They give you better weapons to start off because each package you get a certain amount of loot to start. Because if they didn't give you anything, no one would ever be able to survive. So they give you stuff to start. So I'll probably eventually do the Edge of Darkness edition. And that also gives you like everything for when the game hits 1.0. So if it ever hits 1.0, which it's only at 0.12 right now.
Cool.
If it ever hits 1.0, I think you get, the full release of the game and all future DLCs. You're essentially, if you buy that edition, you're getting the game for its life.
That's good.
But yeah, so Neo and I hopped in there the other night. We've only played together one evening, but we played and we did a handful of raids. And I had a blast.
Yeah,
I had a
really?
blast. Yeah, man. Dude.
It felt a little
fun.
slow at first, but I guess I'm just ramping up, right?
Yeah, I mean it is going to be like you can't go in and play the game like any other shooter for a long ass time. And that's the biggest struggle is that like going in to start is really just trying to make it out alive. And if you make it out alive with any type of loot, you should be thankful that you made it out alive.
So as far as I understand from what we played,
Yeah.
there's the two modes that we play, right? there's the raid mode and the scav mode.
Yeah. So to your point, there is 2 different ways that you can spawn into a raid, right? So it's just called raids to spawn in and play the game.
Yeah, you're not talking about like
A Destiny raid.
higher end game content.
No, there's only one game mode, and that's called raids.
Got it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can spawn in as 2 different things. You can spawn in as a scav, which
Where-
is the
where you're
AI
pretending-
character.
You're pretending to be AI.
Correct. And you spawn in with randomized loot. Sometimes that randomized loot is great. You can
Which
spawn
happened to me.
you can spawn with an awesome gun and some stuff in your pockets that's worth a lot of money. Sometimes you spawn in with just a pistol, which happened to me the other night.
Yeah,
we were playing.
We came in a game together. You had this like just pistol.
I had a pistol,
A scav raid?
scav raid.
Yeah.
So I had just a pistol.
No backpack, I think.
No backpack. So that means I have 4 pocket slots.
It's
And
not
then
a lot.
and then
It's
I had
not a
and then I had a vest which has 6 slots. And the other thing is that the way that it works is some items are 1 square, some items are 2x2 squares, some items are 4x4,
So
right?
some won't fit in there at all.
No,
Some
and
things you can't even pick up.
I can't pick up. So
That makes sense.
right. So
It's
it
logic.
becomes you're also on the fly trying to manage your inventory without dying.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I spawned in with like a high-end sniper rifle.
You spawn in with a full backpack, a full
backpack.
vest, a sniper rifle, and then so we're
Neo got the
looting.
God roll.
We're
Gotta get roll.
essentially. So we're looting, and I'll open up this container. I'm like, oh, there's a lot of good shit in here. No,
Here you
Neo,
go. Neo,
you
take
gotta
it out.
take it. You gotta take it all, Neo.
I was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah, I can't do anything."
I can't. It's either you take it or we leave it here for somebody else. So.
Are the environments of this game vertical?
No.
Yeah, not
They're
so
not-
much.
not-
No. So there is no, because forget about it. It would be impossible to survive if people could be on roofs. If people were on a roof camping, forget it. You would never. You would.
Oh, okay.
It's very urban-y
There's
/ foresty area.
Scavs can be on roofs. But you with the community made maps, they will point out what roofs they're on, and they're known. The spawns never change. Scav spawns do not change, right? So like this is the map that we were playing. So all of those skull and crossbones are spawns
Hang on.
of enemy AI.
I'm gonna pull it up.
But it's different how many spawn? Or
Typically it's a couple. Typically it's a couple.
We did run into a bunch.
now, can you? So people have said to me that when you're in scav mode, you look like a scav.
So there's no what so okay, so that's scav really good. So let me fast forward a little bit. So you could spawn in as a scav once every 15 to 20 minutes. So there's a timer, so you can't keep spawning in because it's free loot, right? If when you go in as your character, what's called your PMC, your private military contractor,
Yeah.
when you go in, you have to go in with something, and if you die, you lose it. But that's something coming from your stash.
Yeah.
Right? Unless you want to go in with nothing and just hope you can survive. The problem is that when you go in as a scav, other scavs don't try and engage you. Meaning I could walk right next to an AI and it won't try and engage me. So it's much easier to survive because I'm only having to worry about other players.
Right.
When I go in as a PMC, everything tries to kill me.
Yeah.
All the
Everything's
AI
a threat.
and all the other people. So it's harder to survive as your PMC than it is to as a scav.
So naturally, like that would be like, okay, I'll just do scav missions. But what they do is they lock out scav missions every time you do one for like a time. They put it on a timer.
It's like 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah. So they
So
either
you do one and then you have to wait.
or
Correct. Or you
do
go
a-
in as your PMC, right?
How many people just wait and just get the free loot and just keep waiting? And
Well, that's what we were doing. We
did somebody create a computer software to just do it for them?
I don't know about all that, but what like Locke and I were doing when we were doing scav missions was we would go. Locke was like, "We're going in, take out all the stuff you have, and we're getting out. We're going to the extraction points, and you have to check what extraction points you have because we could have different ones. And then there's those you can see like here, like they'll be named. Get out of here. Those will be named like
So any of the green dots.
road to military base, passage between the rocks, like these things here.
And when you go up to that area, it gives you a 5-second countdown, and then you leave the raid.
Yeah.
But what the game does on purpose is your extraction point is always on the opposite end of the map. So they make you walk through the map, right? Like you can't just get lucky. So like if I spawn in the bottom left, which is called Trailer Park,
Yeah,
it's
I see
never
it.
going to give me top left, which is crossroads.
It's always
It's going to give me something on the right side of the map.
factory far corner.
Something. So I have to make it to the other side. Whether I engage people or not, or I just tiptoe my way across,
Yeah.
I have to cross the map because I'm more likely to die.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And what you can do is, what's really cool is you could use the scroll wheel on your mouse to slow your movement in real time.
By far the coolest thing.
Yeah.
By far and awesome.
So I can
That's an
go
awesome
from
feature.
standard walking to if I scroll down on my mouse wheel, I literally slow down. So then I'm quieter because your character can get headphones. They're like headsets that amplify the sound like significantly. I spawned in last night with my scav character who had a headphone on, and I haven't worn a pair of headphones in the game since I first gotten it, and the sound was so dramatically different. How much clearer everything was, which was really cool. Because if you walk over,
You'll be able to hear.
oh, because everything's dynamic. If I walk over rocks or gravel,
Metal.
it sounds different. Metal sounds like I'm walking over metal. If I walk through trees, you can hear my character brushing up against the sticks and the leaves, and it sounds like I'm walking through trees, right? So every sound tips off somebody that may be nearby, waiting to kill you.
Wow.
So it's
I love that realism aspect of it.
yeah. So tell me a little bit. Yeah, I guess
Oh.
expand a little bit for me, for everyone listening. What you're
I mean, it was just it was more of like a simulation game than anything. Just the way they try and present the whole thing to you. They want you to not run and gun it.
correct.
It's far from Destiny. It's even far from Rainbow Six in some aspects.
oh, for sure.
They really want you to because with Felix you have to load the bullets into the clips and then put them in the gun.
You mentioned that.
You have to manually do everything with your inventory, and then going in your inventory doesn't pause the game. Everything is happening in real time. You have to be smart with your choices. I like it when games make me think like that.
Yeah.
And they make me think like I have to be careful of the terrain I'm walking on. I can't just rush through this gate here because I don't know what's on the other side. I have to stop and listen. We have to like be careful with everything. And I really liked even like working with you. It was like a really good. Like even when I got we died sometimes, but like it was still really cool to play it like
it
that.
was very tactical and
Yeah.
like we came up.
You guys said that you were working together. That's not based on an official squad
It
game
is actually.
well,
grouped up.
we can group up.
You can
But so here's
squad
the
up.
other cool thing with this, which adds the level of communication. If we get separated, I have no idea that he's my teammate. There's no gamer tag over his head. There's nothing in game
that tells him
that tells me that that's my teammate.
Right, so you guys have to describe where you are.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or we constantly have to be near one
I
another.
liked our
right?
sign because you can like lean.
So there's this
This
universal
universal,
thing.
like-
Yeah, there's this universal like I'm a friendly that people try and follow, which is just rapidly leaning back left and right, left and
So
right, left
your
and
character
right.
goes like this.
So hitting
That makes
Q
you-
and E.
Makes you stand out and look like a.
Well, you're just rocking back and forth. People. So if like you usually see it with scavs, right? So like because PMCs, if you cross somebody that's playing on their PMC, you could usually tell that it's a PMC because they look looted. You know, they got a big backpack on, they got a helmet on. Like scavs don't spawn in this way. So usually, if you don't want to engage a PMC and you're trying to make it out, like you'll see scavs do that little rock back and forth, like please don't kill me. I'm not trying to engage you. I just really want to get out of this thing alive, and I've just crossed your path, and I don't want to engage you. So we were doing that. Like we would get separated, and then I'd be like, Neo, where are you? And I would just sit there and waddle
Just
and
wobble.
wait for him to find me.
That's
there,
lock.
There
That's
it is.
lock.
There is an in-game thing where you can buy armbands. One of the traders sells multicolored armbands. So we'll go in and we'll be like, okay, we're going to choose green as our color, but it's literally just a green patch on your arm, which is almost impossible to actually see in
Yeah,
practice,
Yeah,
right?
if you're like farther than like 50
There's a lot
yards
of
or whatever.
what we were looking at earlier. A lot of the
yeah.
maps are like low lit.
Well, so then there's times of day.
times a day.
Right? So
Yeah.
when you spawn in, you choose two options, which time of day you're going to spawn in. And if you spawn in the evening, like if you spawn in after sunset, it is pitch black.
And you're gonna have a better chance of surviving because you can hide.
Well, not if there's somebody with a thermal sight, because then it works just like an actual thermal sight does, which
Yeah.
is I am lit up like a Christmas tree walking across the map, right?
The guns are fully customizable as well.
Oh yeah, you have a ton of ability to customize the guns. Yeah, I mean the this game is the most in depth I've seen a shooter ever be.
It's not showing the UI. It's hard to see. Yeah,
and I think I talked a little bit about it when we did the game of the year. But like your medicine has, like, you have different medical devices for different things. You have splints for when you break bones. You have bandages for blood loss. Mm-hmm. You have painkillers to treat wounds. You have survival kits if you lose a limb. You can use a survival kit to perform, on-the-fly surgery for yourself, which the animation is literally you opening up, taking up a pair of scissors, and like doing and trying to like fix your arm because your arm's been, killed. It's been
when people die as a scav, does the body stay there?
It does.
Yeah, it does.
So you have
for that session, yeah.
Right, so it stays there. So then you have the ability. Do I want to try and loot this body that somebody else killed, or is the person still close? Are they not close? Looting is not fast, right? Like, it takes time, because what happens is when you click on a body and it brings up the menu, you then have to search the body. I can't see what's in the backpack unless I search the backpack.
You gotta identify each item.
So you have to then, it would actually be like what it would be like. I got to open up the backpack. I got to see what's in there, and then I got to move that stuff from that backpack to my backpack, right? It's not like I just click the body and then I just like
drag stuff over.
It takes a little bit more time, so you have to make the decision: is it worth doing? Is it worth looting? Right? When you get greedy, you die in this game, right? You have to be thankful for the stuff that you got. Unless you have so much money in the game where you can
preload with
and spend. You're right. So the biggest thing in this game, and it's what
does the game allow you to pay to win by buying the currency?
No, you cannot buy the in-game currency.
Good.
But there is a flea market which you unlock at level 5, which allows you to sell to other people. So you can loot that you find, you can then sell on the flea market, and you can inflate the prices and stuff like that.
I feel like an external economy, like a microtransaction system, would probably break this game.
Probably, yeah. Because people would pay to win for sure. And then the next thing that I'm trying to learn in this game is your ammo type, which is the biggest thing inside of this game. Because for each round are different ammo type, or different penetration levels. Right? So the base ammo, which has a level 1 penetration, is the reason why, like, remember that dude that we tried to light up with our pistols, the scav that we were trying to light up? So me and Neo are crouching up this hill, and we see it. We know this guy's on the other end of this street, and we pop up and we both shoot him like 10 times each with our pistol.
I was very accurate too.
I feel like I was lighting him up
like
too.
On it, yeah.
And it took like almost our entire clip to kill him. And that's because the ammo that's inside of your clip has a low penetration level.
And he had armor.
And the person had armor, right? So you can get, different levels of penetration, level 2, 3, 4, whatever.
You always want high levels of penetration.
Always high penetration.
Oh, yeah.
But the better the ammo, the more money it costs, right? And you buy ammo per bullet. So sometimes you can spend, a ton of money just on getting ammo that you're automatically going to lose because you're going to shoot it. Right. So it's like, and if I go in with that ammo and it was expensive and I die before ever shooting the bullet,
bye ammo.
There goes my ammo. It's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a good.
So
here's your inventory screen. We can look at this.
Yeah. So it's brutal, man. But I think the reason why I'm into it so much is because it gives me, and I said this to Neo when we were playing, it amplifies the feeling that I had playing PUBG to another level, to another degree. Like I enjoyed PUBG, one, for the battle royale aspect of it, but also because of like the tension that I felt while playing it.
Yeah, engaging enemies is always a threat, and it's always like really high tension, which
people
feels
have
amazing.
the misunderstanding that this is a BR, and it doesn't.
Definitely not a BR.
It's not a BR. Yeah, because you don't have walls closing in or any of that shit.
No, there's none of that.
There's a timer. Like you have, usually 30 minutes to escape
to get to your extraction point.
Right, but like you don't. It's not 99 players spawn in. The last one standing survives.
The most this reminds me of is the Dark Zone and the Division.
It has some aspects of that.
Yeah, you want to get out with the loot.
And I think it takes some stuff from DayZ as well.
Yeah.
You know,
The realism. I would say it tries to emulate the realism aspect, which is cool.
now there's talks that because right now there's 5 or 6 maps that you can spawn into there, and when you look at the map selection screen, there's more to come. There's talks that when all the maps are complete, because Tarkov is the
Region.
is the region, and then you're playing maps within Tarkov. The theory is that when the map is complete, you will just spawn into Tarkov and be able to move from customs to the next area all fluidly.
They're going to connect them.
Correct. That's what I've heard. But
That would be crazy.
we'll see.
That would make it very Metal Gear Solid 5 like, where the way that game works was. Did you play it?
I did not.
So that game kinda is a little bit like this. I'm using that really loosely, but what you do is you'll get a mission, and you'll pick the gear you want to go into the mission with, and then you pick the point of the map of the mission you want the helicopter to take you to.
Right.
And then when you're done that mission, you get the thing, and then you get whatever stuff you're there for, kill
Right.
whoever you're there for, and then you call your extraction.
Got it.
And then you leave.
Right.
But the map's a big open map. Like, you can go anywhere on the map. Like, it's
Oh
fully,
yeah. Okay.
fully
5.
open.
You
Yeah.
said 5, right?
5,
Yeah. I played a little bit of 5.
But this does have more of a realistic take on that. Like I love the system in Metal Gear Solid 5. Beautiful shooting system, beautiful
Right.
stealth, all that good stuff. But this is just like that first person gameplay that it stands out in a different way.
It does.
You know?
Yeah, it does.
I might be conflating. Did you say this was a spiritual successor created by the people who created the game Stalker?
It is not. It's a Russian. This is a Russian developer.
Yeah. This gameplay's in Russian.
And I don't know if Stalker was by Russian developers.
Okay.
But no, it is not. It is not.
I was just wondering. And the second question is, do you feel that this game is adaptable to a console?
Never.
No, definitely not.
No.
It would end up being just like what PUBG feels like on console, probably.
Which is ass.
Which is garbage.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other reason being is this is a very small team of developers. Like, I think this is like a 10 to 15 person shop.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're just keeping this game alive and its popularity for PC. They would need to be purchased by a major studio, and then maybe you would see a console.
No,
release,
I wasn't talking about from a business sense or like a production team sense.
Just like with the gameplay
I was
translate.
speaking, you play the game.
It-
Do you
it-
feel that it could be adaptable and still be as good of an experience or no?
Probably not. I mean, I don't think the PUBG experience on console is great in terms of the way that you have to navigate the menus and whatnot. And they would have to do the same thing with this, which is, I think the way that PUBG did it is the way that they would have to do it. And I'm sure people would buy it because the same thing happens. You have players that can only play on console for whatever reason. They watch a ton of this stuff because their favorite streamers are playing it. They'll definitely buy the game.
Yeah.
They would definitely buy into it because it's their only option. But in my opinion, this is a PC game through and through. Maybe one day.
No. I'm not saying I'm going to buy it or something like that. I was just
No, it's a good question.
You were just asking if it would ever come, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, so I'm excited to keep playing it and diving into it. The one thing that I will note, which I don't know if I mentioned to you, is we're near a server wipe too.
What?
So we don't want to. Right now, we just want to be learning the game.
Okay, all right. I'm like, oh man, I'm like getting all this stuff right now, and
What's
Yeah.
a server wipe?
So
they're gonna reset everyone's progress.
correct to what you get when you first buy the game. You don't start with nothing.
Did they say why they're doing that?
They do it often. I think it's to help with performance and
Balancing?
So,
Say balancing?
and probably that too. In
Okay.
terms, I haven't looked deep into why they do it, but I know that it's been, I think, a while since the last server wipe. So I think someone was saying that they're expecting it to happen in March. So we're right around the corner.
Let's play and mess around with it.
But we're not even me, who's played it, a handful more hours than you have. I don't have a whole lot. So like if we server wipe, it won't matter. Like it won't matter to me. I'm just having fun looting and playing.
When a server wipe happens, do you also lose like does the game have levels? For the character?
There is levels. Yep, and there's quests and everything goes back to square
it
one.
would server wipe even your level growth and everything.
Which is beneficial because the flea market gets inflated, it gets abused. like I was saying, Dr. Lupo, who has been maining this game for a while now,
I've been
has,
watching him.
like $80 million, so like if he was just able to keep doing that forever, it would be broken eventually, right? Like you get to a point in the game where you go past the need to worry about currency and stuff like that. So it keeps the realism alive even for those guys that, no life the game. But
No life again. Did you just say it that way?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I never
see that
heard
being
of
a
that.
no lifer.
I never.
a game for
No life it?
You know life the game.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to keep playing.
I'm really intense. I'm no lifing life.
You're no lifing Fallout.
Fallout for sure.
I'm no lifing Fallout.
You want to hop into the news, y'all?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Let's talk about the first news.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's coming back. Trials of Osiris returns to Destiny next season. They announced this today, right?
I mean, have you?
They announced it last night. So this is what happened. So there's been an event. I'm sure Trip has talked about it, which was the Empyrean Foundation, which was an event that started at the beginning of this season. And essentially what the community has been doing is they've been saving up and donating material to a centralized pool. Last night at 10:15, we reached the final stage as a community. It opened up a cutscene, and then immediately after that, Bungie tweeted, we have a reveal stream happening at 11 p.m. And it said, Trials returns. That was like the title of it. Trials returns, dev team talk, or, dev whatever. And then there was a video that we're now seeing talking about the return of Trials and giving us a very quick sneak peek into the return of Trials of Osiris.
So you never played Trials of Osiris on your PC?
So when we there was a very, very brief moment where Trip, Neo, and I, when we all very first started playing Destiny on PC, Trials of the Nine, which was the Destiny 2 version of Trials, was still happening on PC, and we tried to hop in there. I was still a new PC gamer. Trip was still a new PC gamer. Neo, I think, had just gotten Destiny 2, and we got demolished.
Well, I had it on PS4, and I bought it on PS. I bought it on PC.
Yeah. But I wouldn't even really call that us playing it, because it wasn't the case. So, yeah. So at this point, we know it's coming back. It's coming back March 13th. Which is a Friday, of course. It's coming back on the weekends. Luke Smith, in the intro to this video, talks about him and his friends. That was their Friday night, and that's how it was for me too, back on Xbox. Every Friday night, Jeezum Crow and myself and one other person from our friends list.
It was quite frequently me.
You or anybody, man. There was a bunch of people we played with.
Yeah.
That's what we did on Friday nights or Saturday nights. It was one of the evenings over the weekend we dedicated to doing 3 flawless runs on all of our characters, and I looked forward to it week after week after week. And at a certain point, it wasn't for loot, because you go flawless enough, you get all the loot. It was just the competitive nature of going flawless.
Yeah.
I
told you.
Was this a reoccurring thing?
It's every weekend. It happens every
that's
weekend.
When it comes. Okay, that's cool.
So it comes Friday after reset, Friday reset. So midday on Friday it goes live, and it runs through Sunday night.
You're here to defend yourself. I wasn't throwing you under the bus.
You fucking threw me right under it, man. You threw me right under it. You made it sound like I just ditched you, man.
No, but I want you to clarify something, because I don't remember. So there was a period of time where I went comfortably with you and Jeezum Crow to the lighthouse, where we would go flawless constantly.
Sure.
I don't think anything changed in my ability or gameplay ability. Like, I played pretty much the same way, and there was an update that happened where the matchmaking changed.
Sure.
And they started matching us with like straight up pros every single time.
Yeah. So one of the big things that they announced, that Luke Smith announced for this after saying that it was returning, he did it on Twitter. He did like a 3-tweet response. is that they've decided to do connection and card-based matchmaking for this. So what that means is it's going to prioritize connection, but it's also going to prioritize to play someone that's on the same number of wins as you are.
Which was what they changed it to when toward the latter part.
Correct.
Right, and that's the thing that got me
because what it used to do is it used to just be strictly connection.
Yeah. And
on our flawless game, our final game, we could have played someone that was on game 1.
Right.
So we ended up having a better chance of playing a less skill of the player base because of how it randomized matchmaking.
Right. And I love that because I'm not that good.
Now this for Destiny 2 is actually a great thing because right now skill-based matchmaking exists, and it's part of the reason why Destiny PvP is in such an awful spot. Skill-based matchmaking is ranking against your hidden rank that you don't get to see, and it's essentially killed PvP for those that are in probably the top 30 percentile.
Why does skill-based matchmaking sound like it would be better?
Because there's no place for players to go to have fun.
Isn't that what non-ranked modes are for?
But there are none, right? So you don't have ranked and unranked in Destiny. You have Survival, which used to be their competitive playlist, and now Survival has a ranking system. It's just win-loss, right? You get points for winning, you lose points for losing. And that used to be glory-based, because that's the mechanic, is you earn glory. That used to be glory-based, and it used to be really hard to reach the top rank in glory because you would play better players as you progressed. Mm-hmm. Well, that stopped happening, and that became just connection-based and completely random, and it's utterly broken because you can play as a player with 2,000 glory can match against a team of all 5,000 glory players, and the matchmaking is not fair. You then, every other playlist that exists is skill based, meaning that I'm always going to play players at my skill, which is fine sometimes.
Sometimes you just want to roll face,
right? So it's not even that. You end up not being able to use any of the other guns that exist inside of the game because you have to run meta.
Got it.
Always.
That sounds
and you never get
really
to explore,
frustrating,
right?
Yeah. And that sounds kind of boring, actually.
So they have one playlist, which is called Classic Mix, which is connection-based. The problem is nobody plays the other playlists because everyone wants to just have fun. So everyone goes to the one playlist that's connection-based, and then it just becomes sweaty over again. Because the bottom-tier players and the middle-of-the-pack players, they're having a blast. They're enjoying Destiny PvP. Mm-hmm. The people that play 3 games a week, 5 games a week, they're enjoying it.
Yeah.
Well, no, because they're playing against players in their skill bracket. They're playing the skill-based playlist because they're playing people of their skill. They're not getting stomped anymore, right? And for some, that's exactly what they want to do. They want to pub stomp, and I get it. We should protect that player base too. But if I'm a PvE player and I only play Crucible to get my bounties done, to get my weeklies done, and then I get the hell out, in my opinion, just like you protect the PvE experience, you should be protecting the PvP experience. It doesn't mean that we protect the 1% and they're the only voice that matters. There's definitely a balance. But right now it's all out of whack. So having connection-based plus the card means that there's going to be a good balance, meaning I should not play somebody that's at their first match and stomp them.
No, I mean, for trials, I didn't like it, but it makes perfect sense that as you go up the trial, you should not be playing people because you're all at 9 wins or
8 wins, whatever the card is. Yeah.
If you're at 8 wins, the people who are at 8 wins should be the most skilled players by logic. You know what I mean?
Right.
By the lore of the game.
Yeah.
Like
right. It's end game like you should
someone who made it to 8 should,
Yeah. Like they talk about in the video, like there's gonna be something signifying that you went flawless that week. When you walk around the tower, people are going to know you went flawless, and you want to be proud of that, right? So you should earn it, right? The other problem with the connection-based and the skill-based matchmaking, really quickly, and then I'll get off my soapbox, is they have really poor lobby balancing. Have you heard of lobby balancing in matchmaking before?
When they balance the skilled players among the two teams.
So when I go into a lobby, if I'm the highest ranked player with my skill that I can't see, like my MMR is the highest, I am going to get the bottom team, the bottom set of players on my team because they think I can carry the weight of the rest of the team. Which means that the other team ends up having a better team composition because that might be players 3 through 6.
That's if you matchmake, though.
Correct.
That's
like
not...
in the current matchmaking system.
Oh,
take trials out of the equation.
Right now, can you still go in with like a team of like 6 people that are friends?
Sure, you could.
But if you were playing by yourself.
But if I was playing by myself, which happens often, or there's 2 of us going in, right? So like if me and Nimbus go in, who have a higher MMR rating, we are always going to get, out of the 12 players, we're going to get the bottom 4 players of that lobby every time.
That's bad.
Right? So then that means me and him
do more work,
which means I can't play around and fuck around with other guns because I'm not going to, and I don't like to lose. I can't go in and lose. I mean, that's just not who I am.
That's unheard of, man.
Right?
Why would
so
you do that?
I can't do it. I don't like doing that. Right? Like, it's this balance that's become.
And sometimes it's probably incredibly obvious to you that you just got paired with some weird scrubs that don't know what the fuck they're doing. And
I mean, it's not the player's fault. Right? Like, I'm not upset that I have a team of people that don't know what they're doing. We shouldn't be here together. Like So the community is excited about this. To go back to trials, comes back the 13th. To our knowledge, it's going to be the same exact way that trials existed before.
Now I heard you guys talking earlier.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're letting you use the artifact in it.
Yeah, so this is
a problem.
This is the biggest point of controversy.
I saw Glad tweeting about this.
Yeah, and the community manager has also commented on it publicly and said that it's going. So now inside of the game, you have your seasonal artifact. That seasonal artifact can be leveled throughout the season, and each time you reach a new level, or it's every 3 levels, whatever. As you level, you gain a light level. So not just like your gear level doesn't. So people can get to, like right now, 970 is the max. Someone can correct me. I think it's 970, 980, something like that. But there's players with 1100 power.
I think it's 970 because Trip was saying he was trying to get.
He was trying to get 970, right? So there's players that are plus 30, plus 40 over the max because they've played so much Destiny that their artifact is going up and their light level is increasing, right? Well, they're saying that is going to be an effect for trials. Well, the problem with that is if I go in at 970 and I face you that's at 1,000, you're going to do more damage against me, and I'm going to do less damage against you because you have a better defense, right?
Right.
Like just like it works in PvE. If I'm over leveled, the content's going to be easier. The same thing exists with PvP. So they mentioned this in the video, and everyone picked that apart. Moment one, people are already tweeting about it last night at 11:20 when the video ends. Everyone's already talking about it. Millions of posts went up on Reddit, on Crucible Playbook, which is the PvP Destiny Reddit, Destiny the game. Everyone's talking about it. And then Cosmo, the community manager, said, we are making it live, meaning your light level will matter, your artifact level will matter. We already know people are upset about it, but we're taking a wait and see approach to see how it goes.
Wow. I mean, I think they're
already
on the course for what they've prepared, right? So like,
yeah, I mean, I think I think they could disable the artifact if they wanted to. I don't know if there's maybe some consequences to it where they can't do it. You know, we're kind of armchair developers in this point to think that they could just turn it on or off. It might not be that easy.
We're best at.
That's what we are best at. Especially our Discord. Our entire community is really great at being armchairies. So, you know, I don't know how this is going to pan out. I don't think it's a good idea. I was getting in a little bit of a debate with Jay from our Discord earlier because he was, you know, heavily disagreeing with this decision, and I agree it's not a great decision. But this won't affect anybody when Trials first comes out, right? When Trials first comes out, that first weekend, everyone's going to be the same light level. It's not going to matter. It will be a problem 3 weeks in, 4 weeks in, if players decide to abuse this, where they just decide to go play nothing but PvE and do nothing but bounties over and over and over again to get to a very high light level to give themselves an advantage in trials. So I think it will be a problem. How big of a problem will it be? I think that remains to be seen.
So we won't know for sure like a week or two in?
No, when it first comes out. So I think the season, I don't know when the season releases. I would imagine the season releases on
March 13th.
Well, no, that's a Friday, so I would imagine it releases on a Tuesday.
Does
Season of the Worthy starts on March 10th, and Trials starts on the 13th. So that first Trials weekend, 3 days after the season launches, no one's going to be at a high light level, right? Mm-hmm. People might be a few light levels over one another, but that's not enough to cause a disadvantage. You need to be 30, 40, 50 light levels above someone else for it to really be a problem.
I don't know if that really matters when you take into the context of the amount of wins matchmaking.
So this was my point to Jay in the Discord today, which he didn't agree with, which is the PvE gods that do nothing but farm their light level are never going to face me. No. Because I don't want to be a dick, but they're not going to be able to get high enough in the card. Right? So like I'm not going to face them. He seems to think that PvP players are going to no-life the PvE content to get an advantage in Trials, and I just don't think the players that I'm concerned about are going to do that. I think there will be players that try and abuse it this way to give themselves an advantage to get to the lighthouse, but I don't think people are going to abuse it in the way that I think the internet as a whole, not just Jay, the internet as a whole thinks that people are going to abuse this, and they might, but I don't think that's the case. I think the people that you end up facing as you progress through the card, is there a chance that we play them on the first 3 wins? Sure, because at that point everyone's on the same playing field, right?
You also might meet that guy that's like you, but he's also really good at PvE.
Maybe.
And he gets himself like super OP, but then he's also like a god.
But
when it comes to
so that's what
that also might end up being you.
Yeah, maybe, but it's not because I barely finish my 100 levels.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't play enough of it, even when I am playing it. So
you kind of got to hit like every part of the game and like.
People that get this high,
no life it.
Literally no life. All you do is
your
this.
New favorite phrase.
I love
it. So So the other criticism is based off of this, which is 3 D1 maps are returning. Some really great maps. Cauldron, which was the spooky one, right?
Yeah.
Anomaly, which is the which is the inside one with the spinning. Yeah, that me, you, and Trip played on one time. Yeah, Anomaly. And then Anomaly. Exodus Blue, I think it was, or Exodus Crash, or Exodus something, which is another one.
That was exclusive to PlayStation, I think.
No, it was on Xbox. It's the one that had the train on the one side.
Oh, yeah.
So those are all returning, which they're all great maps. And then the original Trials of the Osiris armor is returning. The cat one, that's returning.
I think I had that.
And then some new weapons and skins. So yeah, it's up
There's
on the
screen
screen, right?
There,
yeah. So that's all returning. So then the internet immediately goes, why did it take so long to bring the game mode back? If it's not going to be any different, we're going to get the same maps, we're going to get the same armor. And I agree with that to a certain extent. But we've also been saying for quite some time that that's all we want is for them to bring back the game mode. And if it took them time to bring it back because they wanted to tie it into lore and story, then I think it's perfectly fine for them to have taken this long. Because they tied this in to the overarching story of the entire game, which is something they did not do well in D1. And this is all tying in.
All right.
Very weird.
We're back.
That's going to be weird for demos, isn't it?
It is. It's fine. We'll just restart it.
Cool.
Yeah. So I am very, very excited for Trials to return. I think there's a lot of things to be concerned about. I think there's a lot of things to be excited about. And I'm already looking forward to the March 13th weekend. I'm definitely going to be streaming it. And I'm excited. Yeah. So it's big news. Trials returns or returns of Trials was trending on Twitter last night. Even with the fucking debate happening, it was trending on Twitter, which was crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
You know, you had like 100,000 people in the YouTube waiting room lobby waiting for the video to start.
It's funny, despite how like divisive the community is of Destiny, it's massive. And they love it enough to get upset when it's not what they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I get it. I've been on the opposite side of the aisle where all I've been is toxic and complain. I guess I'm just trying to remain positive and hopeful for this, and I have absolutely no problem not playing it anymore if they release this and it sucks. They've neglected PvP for far too long. The meta is stale. They haven't addressed matchmaking issues. Trials has been gone for over a year. So there's a lot of things for people to be salty about. But right now, I'm excited. So more to come. A few weeks. We're almost there.
I guess we'll find out. We'll hear more about it.
Yeah, we got 2 weeks on that, right?
Hey, there's always coming back and playing State of Decay 2 with me.
We talked about that last week.
Which I may do.
That, by the way, actually functions now.
That's great to hear.
Get that Game Pass.
I've done.
I would have to.
I've done numerous sessions with crossplay.
Nice.
And
I would definitely hop in
great.
your game world and fuck around with you.
Yeah, so would I.
Yeah, we could do it either way. I mean, it doesn't matter.
So speaking of Game Pass.
Speaking of Game Pass, next story we got is Phil Spencer this week dropped a hot blog post on the Xbox site talking about what we can expect from the next gen system. So he actually goes into detail about what to expect with the technology inside of the Xbox Series X.
Right.
Now I got some experts here from good old Wario64, and I'm just gonna read off of that list rather than his whole blog post.
Yeah.
He points out 12 teraflops, which is
twice as powerful
as the normal Xbox One, I believe.
No, I think it's twice as powerful as the current Xbox One X.
That's a lot. Oh wait, are we sure? Let me see. What does the Xbox One X have?
I thought I read that it was twice as powerful and then like 3 or 4 times as powerful as the original Xbox One.
Okay.
But I could be wrong.
Let me look at. I'm looking through the article here.
Yeah, if you get to
the teraflop section.
If you get to the multiple teraflops section,
you got it.
I think it says it. Yeah.
I don't even know what the fuck a teraflop is.
A teraflop is a floating point operation. It's how many operations that the graphics can achieve in a moment, right? In whatever measurement of moment that they're talking about. I just missed it. Hang on. Scrolling through this. Okay, 12 teraflops, which is twice of the Xbox One X and 8 times of the original
8 times the original Xbox One.
Which, holy shit, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of processing power.
Yeah.
It talks about...
the Xbox One X is 6 teraflops.
That would be be less than less than half of 12. Good job, dude.
It talked about variable rate shading, which I guess is a new technology of shaders, just applying shadows.
Right.
And they go into detail here. I'm not going to go ahead and read it. And then they have hardware accelerated ray tracing, DirectX ray tracing.
Yep.
Which is a graphics like protocol that you mostly find on PCs, and the Xbox actually has been using it. The reason why the Xbox is called Xbox, you know why?
No.
Because of DirectX, which was the Microsoft made, graphics implementation of their graphics. That's where they got the name from back in 2001 or whatever.
Yep.
And then ray tracing is the technology which we're seeing in newer GeForce graphics cards.
The one that what do you have in your
1660?
You have a 1660, so I don't know if that has ray
so
tracing.
the 2000 series.
2000 has ray tracing, yeah.
Where is the ray tracing line of cards? But it's a new, it's taking shadows and light to a new level. It's trying to implement a more photorealistic look. All right, that's the idea with ray tracing. Like Control was one of those games last year that was like, we are a ray tracing game,
right?
And you could tell the difference right away when you played it with the ray tracing on.
Yeah, I could tell like how slow my stuttering my fucking.
Well, that's the speed. The speed
original
is an
PS4.
Dude. Well, the original those original 2013 consoles are screaming at this point.
Dude, I turned on my original Xbox One to because I was trying to just play a game the other day in the living room, which I don't do, right? Yeah. I was trying to do it for whatever reason. I made the decision to do that, and the thing took forever to actually boot to the main screen.
It's painful playing Monster Hunter on my PS4.
Oh, I could never.
I hate my friend for making me do that.
I could never do it.
So you guys know that I'm invested in consoles, and I still like playing on consoles.
I know.
If you were me, knowing that fact,
yeah.
Okay.
Would you upgrade to these ones?
Would you upgrade to what's currently out there, or wait for this?
Oh, you
wait for this
for sure.
And I think.
But
and
how
honestly,
much is it going to fucking come out at?
Well, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
We'll get to that. I have some predictions. We know the cost of production of the
when
PS5.
is next fall?
This fall. This coming holiday is the ideal date, but we don't know with the coronavirus happening. It's actually affecting production in China.
Yeah.
We actually don't know because honestly, aside from this blog post and Sony's complete silence, we don't know what's going on with these consoles. More or less, this is our update. We're reading the current update with the Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next thing that they go into is the SSD storage. Now, Felix, though, this is going to be the thing you're going to notice the most because being an SSD person on a PC, loading times are almost instant. Booting up is like I don't know if you can notice with your PC here if you played Red Dead for a little bit on it, but loading is infinitely faster.
I think it was faster. Yeah. Man.
He actually goes.
Thanks.
He actually goes further in this blog post where he talks about the quick resume feature.
Got no eye for it.
Which you have no eye. What for the?
I have no eye for technological difference.
So
Unless somebody,
such bullshit.
No,
It is
unless
bullshit.
somebody points it the fuck out to me.
That's not true.
because this is what we'll do. Here's the test, Felix.
What?
You get the new consoles.
I was thinking about
You
it.
play some. I know you're thinking about it. Of course, you're gonna do. I think you should do it, obviously, but
I mean, look at them rocking down there.
you're gonna play the new consoles, and then I'm gonna be like, Felix, dig out your original Xbox One, and I want you to play a game on that. Just do it. Just
It's
play any game.
impossible, dude.
You'll be like, holy shit,
mean-
Fallout 76 is taking ages to load. Holy shit. And it's just, and fast traveling is slower. Like, you'll notice, man. I'm telling
can't
you.
Wait.
You will.
Can't wait to play something.
Sorry.
I'm getting
you
hyped.
could do it now if you play on your fucking PC. It would be infinitely better.
It sounds like right now, probably for a more affordable price, I could get 6 teraflops in the Xbox One X, right?
But there's a few other things that this is going to bring that I think are very important.
These are the key things here,
Okay.
Yeah.
The SSD storage is one of them. And actually, the games that are going to be developed will actually be made with that in mind.
Okay.
So they'll be fully optimized. Last year, Sony had a demonstration with what they're going to do with their the SSD technology in the PS5. They had like a Spider-Man demonstration, and they showed in like real time how fast they could load New York City. It was a whole thing. You have to
remember
look it
that.
up.
Yeah.
They did a whole thing with that. Now, quick resume is really cool. They started to do that in this generation, but
It's
kind
for
of
a single game.
for a single game. Yes, it didn't quite work as well as I like because what happens was like I'll turn my PS4 on and Monster Hunter was the last thing I played. It still brings up like the splash screen. It still like takes a minute to like load back into wherever I was standing.
Right.
This is supposed to be like a quick instant resume. And not only that, it says you can do it across multiple games, Felix.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. So what that means is you could be playing Fallout 76 or State of Decay, and someone on your stream goes, yo, I'm hopping on State of Decay now, and you're playing Fallout. You can just go, okay, I'm just going to swap over. I'm just going to Alt-Tab, as you do on PCs,
PC, yeah.
to your next app, which is the game you were playing, the other game.
It would just load.
And it would just be
That's
it
great.
would be open already, essentially, like
Right.
waiting for
It's
you.
already there running.
Dynamic latency input. Now, this is just the wireless technology talking between your controller. It's just going to be better responsiveness, whatever.
Right.
Sure.
HDMI is better. Yeah, it's got a better. They talk about having a variable refresh rate, which is super important for the next point.
Yeah, 120 FPS support, frames per second support.
Now
We're talking PC like major PC territory.
Yeah, I mean this, depending on the game, will perform better than my current GPU and my computer.
If it can hold it, if it can hold that frame rate, yeah.
Right. So if it can hold a steady 120 frames per second, and the graphics setting on your game is what would be considered high on a PC scale, it would do better than what I can currently do on my build.
Me too.
Because you can't hold 120.
No, not for the same AAA type. Like for certain games, absolutely. But for AAA titles like Witcher, if I play Witcher on the highest graphical setting, which is a game that came out forever ago, I hold between 60 and like 80 frames.
The most.
Because it's so graphic intensive.
And even with my like 4-year-old card now, it depends on the game I'm playing too. Like sometimes like in Overwatch and Destiny, I'm getting like 80 frames, 90 frames. In Overwatch, I'm getting 120 frames because that game just is optimized to hell. Like it's very smooth. Some games like Rainbow Six, I'm like pushing like 60, and it just really depends.
Right.
And it's going to depend on a lot on that too.
When you pick something, are you going in and itemized itemize picking the different aspects of that?
Oh my
I do.
God,
Or
that is PC. That's a PC gamer's like wonderland.
So you're not just picking a thing that says highest settings.
Well,
There
depends.
is that.
Depends.
That slider's there. But you can also go, okay, I want to turn down shadows. I want to turn down anti-aliasing, which is the thing that smooths the edges out. I can turn on, the chromatic. I can turn off chromatic abrasion,
Which I hate.
Which you hate. I know. I always personally turn off motion blur.
So do I.
I hate motion blur
definitely.
to hell.
Yeah, you have complete control over your graphical settings, and NVIDIA, if you have an NVIDIA card, will actually help you. If you run the GeForce app, it will tell you what settings make the most sense for your game to get the FPS rating
With
that
your
you're looking
specs,
for
yeah.
with your specs, which is really cool.
It was
but
yeah.
my point being is that if this console can hold a steady 120, which I struggle to think that will actually happen, but if it does consistently for AAA titles for the most recent games, this will rival top builds on PCs, which is ultimately what we would want, right? We want the console experience to be just as great as the PC experience, right? We don't want, like, ultimately as gamers, we don't want to have this, like this whole PC master race bullshit, right? Like, so, and that's why the variable refresh rate is super important.
Yeah, I actually posted on Twitter this week that in lieu of this post, I was like,
Right.
what this means is it's not going to be like the console war is effectively, I'm calling it dead.
Right.
Because what this means is the new console war will be companies like Microsoft and Sony. They're going to have to fight with features and games essentially, and in the end, and overall, we're going to win. There's no war between all of us. It's really we're all winners in this case, which is a good thing. This is what we want. We want them to fight like this. It was also pointed out to me.
We were only the winners in the Coke and Pepsi war. We just got lots of different Coke and Pepsi.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. And that's what we're going to get here. Lots of Coke and Pepsis.
Yeah.
It was also pointed out to me that this support with 120 frames per second will also depend on the display you're using.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. So that's also important to notice.
Like do you remember what your is that 144 hertz
it is
monitor?
Yeah. I think
right.
it's a 1080p
so like
model.
if you were playing on this TV with your new console, even if your game was hitting 120 FPS, you wouldn't be seeing 120
It's
FPS.
not outputting at that.
But
It's
it
not
would over
outputting.
here.
It would.
It would 100% on there. Yeah.
Because the hertz of your monitor counts as a frame. So 144 hertz means that your monitor would be able to output 144 frames per second.
It's the speed it's refreshing the image, right?
So that might mean that if you're playing a high fidelity game when you get this new console, maybe you do play it on that instead.
Yeah.
Right. And then other games you play on here. Yeah, it really depends. I can for sure tell you that playing at 60
I have
plus
no
frames,
idea what the hertz is of that fucking TV.
Probably 60.
probably 60.
60.
Because it doesn't matter because most,
TV programs.
you're not watching movies at 60 frames per second, right? So it doesn't need to have a high refresh rate.
You'll notice games at 60 frames a second for sure. Like Call of Duty is always a console 60 frames a second game, so you would notice that if you were playing that.
Right.
So I'm going to move on if that's
Please
cool. do. So they're also touting that it will be playing 4 generations of Xbox games,
Which is incredible.
which another barrier broken, right?
Right.
That PC has always had an advantage of. Because I can go back and play DOS games. I can go back and play games that released in 1999, like Half-Life 1, right?
So I'll be able to go back and play Xbox One original games.
Yes, absolutely.
Xbox original games.
Original
Sorry,
games.
yeah, there's no one there.
No. So you
Yeah,
can go play
correct.
The Warriors for Xbox
That would be weird.
That'd be so
on
weird.
a console
Built today.
that could literally probably render the game live if it needed to because it has so much horsepower under the
I
hood,
love
right?
I love the game I played all the time was Mercenaries. Playground of
I'm familiar with that.
Destruction.
You can bring that out of your closet and play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can technically do that right now.
All right, so now this is another cool thing that I think is an amazing feature, smart delivery. And he talks about this being, let's pretend you buy this holiday. I don't want to get the Series X yet. I'm going to buy Halo Infinite, just the copy I have. They're promising that when you decide to buy the Series X, that game is going to work in the Series X, and you'll get the features that the Series X, like the graphical features that comes alongside that. They're promising that. And actually, I have 2 other articles here pulled up that I'm going to close some of these. Square Enix is promising to continue to release both cross-gen games across the new gen and our current gen. which is also kind of bridging the gap. Like, you don't need to worry about your PS4 and Xbox One X or your One quite yet. Like, you can stay on these generations. And they're talking about, like, these things will scale up with if you were to decide to get it. Same thing for, I had another article here. Where did I do with it?
They talked about it for Cyberpunk too, as well, right?
Yeah. Where did I put that article?
Oh yeah, the cyberpunk idea was really great. That they basically made a statement where they were like, people should not have to buy games twice.
Correct.
They think that's dumb.
I bought. It would have been great for them to figure that out for Witcher because I own Witcher.
Yeah.
3 times. But that's fine.
Yeah, I own Witcher twice.
So this holiday, even if you don't get the Xbox One X and you want to play this game, Felix, because I mean we're probably, if we're doing PC, but for you and you decide to get the new console, you don't need to worry about what copy you buy, which is amazing. And now this actually, I'm going to take this deeper because this past gen, I'm always going to remember this generation, the PS4 and Xbox One generation, as the generation where we remastered everything. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
And that was a huge part of it. Like, we got remasters of every game that came out, even just years prior, like Last of Us 1.
Last of Us remastered.
Which was like a 3-year-old game, right?
No, was it
at
3
the time,
years old
when the remaster came out?
I didn't even think it was 3 years old.
It might have been somewhere around there.
It was definitely.
It was an earlier PS3 title, right?
Last of Us. That was a late PS3 title. That was like end of life PS3 title.
Really?
I'll check. Yeah, I'll look it up.
Dude,
live.
I'm thinking in my head like, I had a PS3 because I was a late PS3 purchaser because I had a 360 for a long time.
Yeah.
So I bought the PS3. I bought The Last of Us.
It was June 2013. So literally it's actually the same thing we're experiencing with Last of Us 2.
This is what I'm saying. Like
because it's coming out on the PS5.
it was only like
later.
a year.
It was a year.
Yeah.
It was 1 year.
It was a year. Yeah.
So that was like an end of life.
I remember
PS3
going
title.
like,
God, what a game.
wait, I just bought this game and played through it,
Yeah,
and
man.
now they're already re-releasing
And then you gave
it.
me the PS3 copy you had.
Did I?
Yeah. I don't know if I still have it, but you
Yeah.
gave it to me and you were like, well, I'm not going to use this one anymore.
Yeah. I wasn't.
So I think this is another thing. That
Didn't I give it to you to like play GTA or something?
You gave me your original backwards compatible PlayStation 3. Well, I bought it from you,
I think
actually,
the
but-
reason was because you wanted to try GTA 5.
Yeah, and I couldn't because when I put GTA 5 inside of that PS3, it was enough to heat my house and sounded like it was about to take off in my living room. Because it's an original. It's literally the OG
launch console.
launch PS3. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Which actually goes for a decent amount now because people are trying to get it for backwards compatibility.
People want the backwards compatibility. Yeah. And it's a PS3. So there you
right.
go.
Yeah.
I honestly don't even remember what it looks like.
I have it. Well, I have this
it's
second gen. It's not that one.
It's twice the size of your PS4.
It's a big boy.
Yeah.
It's a big boy.
Yeah. It's more aligned with the Xbox One that you have there in terms of size.
So all in all, with this feature, it's another thing that's making it like a PC game because PC games that I've owned, I can now scale up and play over time. This is a thing where I think like the consoles are essentially just going to become boxed PCs that we just in 4 years from now, I guarantee you we're going to see the Series Y or whatever. I'm just throwing that name out there as the next 16 teraflop console, and they'll just scale it up. And if you want to buy it, you can or not. They're going to release the games across everything.
It's the same thing we deal with PCs right now.
Right.
Which is...
Can my hardware do this?
Yeah, which is like right now I'm seriously considering, do I want to buy a 20 series card for the release of Cyberpunk?
So I'm waiting for
or do I not want to, or 3
3000.
series? Right. So
that's what
I
I'm
was
waiting for.
going to try and wait for a 3 series, and then I'm like, but I really want to see Cyberpunk with ray tracing.
Hey man,
but,
if we win that sweet 2080 Ti graphics card, I
that'd be
would.
sick.
Cyberpunk's doing this contest right now. Here, I'll pull it up.
Yeah, CD Projekt Red is doing a if you tweet at them with a friend and the hashtag,
which we've been doing like all week.
Which
like
we've all been doing, yeah. They'll give you and your friend a free 2080 Ti, which is
I saw you.
which is currently the top of the line graphics card, but it's also customized to look like Cyberpunk, which is sick.
I would
look at it, it's so dope.
Put that hella thing in my machine.
Oh, look at that.
It's gorgeous.
There's like a part of me that doesn't even want to use it.
Just like put it like in a glass.
Yeah, right, dude. Like I don't want it to get dusty.
Man. Get all dirty. In the machine.
So but the 2080 Ti is currently the top of the line card.
It goes for like $1,000.
Right. Yeah. So that card's super expensive. So I think this is great for Microsoft and for Xbox. I think
This is what I'm talking about, yeah.
The hardware specs are incredible. Some of these features they're talking about are incredible. I think with them also doing the Game Pass, I think they have a really good ecosystem that they've built across the board, personally. I think, there's still the question of the titles, and I get it. They don't have a lot of good titles in the pipeline. They did a lot of acquisition over this past year, right? They bought a lot of studios.
I expect a lot of announcements for the release of this.
I would hope so. I'm thinking and I'm hoping, because we don't really have much info on Halo Infinite.
Nope.
I'm thinking we're going to get a bundle. I think they're going to come together.
Okay.
I think we're going to end up getting a...
That makes the enticement factor even higher, right? Like, that's a great... Games haven't come with consoles in forever.
I think it would be... Personally, I think it would be silly for them not to. Like, this is the first...
But they also offer Game Pass. So, like, what if they gave you, like, a month of Game Pass or 3 months of Game Pass? That gives you an instant library of games right away to play on your new 4K-ready 12 teraflop machine. You know what I mean? That would be another way of doing it.
Absolutely.
Also, I think they say, like, it'll be on Game Pass. I think that's one of those games that's going to do that.
It probably would. I guess what I meant is that the game will come out with the release of this new console.
Right.
That they'll be in tandem, right? Like, it would be so silly for them to not release the next generation of Halo with the next generation Xbox.
I think they said it will be here.
Did they?
No matter what. Yeah. That is something that I believe we're going to see. The
So-
only thing we don't know is, like, what's PlayStation doing, right?
Yeah.
People tend to. I know me personally. I gravitate more to the PlayStation line of games, just because I love I love Naughty Dog. I love Insomniac, which is now Sony owned. Spider-Man games are coming, right? Like Horizon Zero Dawn's coming.
But that's also potentially going to be on PC.
Correct,
right?
and that actually, I didn't put this in the news doc, but Amazon France leaked the SKU for the PC copy of Horizon.
I'm gonna buy it.
It's probably a good PC. That'd be a good PC game.
For sure.
I just
gonna be a
realized
PC
something.
game,
It doesn't have one in there. A lot of people are saying Xbox One Series X.
Oh, that's a good point.
They got rid of it, because I think they're going to just do series now. Because to Neo's point, you're going to have the option. Okay, do I want to buy into the new series of X? It's just Xbox, right? And the series are just your hardware generation.
Think iPhone.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Like, why are we doing this stupid naming convention? Like,
Right.
it's an Xbox.
Yeah.
Like, no matter, even though that's an Xbox One, you call it an Xbox. You call that a PlayStation, right? Like, that's just in short, that's what you call it. So just
we even
give it a series or generation number, very simple, and then just roll with that.
We even shorthanded both the one's called the box and the other one's called the 4.
Sure.
The
Right.
box and the 4. That's all we call it.
Which it makes sense.
To answer your earlier question, Felix, and what we think these things are going to cost, I'm guessing $500 for this machine.
Which
$500?
honestly is absurd.
Absurdly good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure what
Like,
scale you were on.
if you wanted to build something like this yourself, if it didn't exist to the consumer
Definitely
level,
over $1,000.
yes, for sure. A budget build on a PC,
My economy build was $1,100.
that's pretty high. You can build a like $500-$600 PC if you wanted to go super budget.
I think the graphics card pushed them up a little bit.
Of course, but that right there will not meet the output of this,
I know.
and you get it for half the cost.
I know.
Right, like, so, but there's some downsides to it too. Like, if you want to really compare PC gaming to that, like, you have to buy into Xbox Live, you have the Game Pass, right?
Already have it.
But what I'm getting at is you're paying a yearly fee to do what I do for free,
Oh.
right? So they're making their money back, like they're giving it to you at a steal because they're going to get all their money regardless.
what
They're
do
going to
you do
offer
for
you
free
services, playing online.
Playing online,
Oh, I see.
You do it for both the PS4 and the Xbox.
right? So like your yearly cost for Xbox Live is over $100, right? It's went up.
It's $180.
$180,
Mhm.
right?
Xbox is $180 a year.
I have no idea.
Well,
I don't buy Xbox Live.
I'm doing the thing that's live plus this.
So the game
Game Pass.
Ultimate,
15
Game
bucks
Pass
a month.
Ultimate, right?
Got
15
it.
bucks a month.
Right. So there you go. Like, they're selling this to you at probably a bare minimum gain, if not a loss,
So
because you're going to be giving them service money for the next 3 to 5 years.
We learned this week that also the PS5's production cost per unit is also going to be close to like $450 something, which $399 was the release price of the PS4. could also safely assume both boxes will be $500.
Yeah, I would think that would be a good assumption for
Yeah,
sure.
I think so.
So they get a little bit of a profit off of each one,
Right.
But then they make all their money back on their services.
The games and the services. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Hopefully, what I want to like. We've been talking about Xbox this whole time. What I want to see from PlayStation is to offer a competing service like Game Pass, make their PS
which they've
Now,
always struggled with.
Yeah, PS Now is nowhere near as popular as Game Pass is.
But it's the same price.
It's the same price.
It's
yeah.
exactly the same.
But I would love to see them make PS Now more viable as a service for in the forefront, right? Like Stadia is trying to do, and like GeForce Now is trying to do.
They just
the
need to
streaming
change
services.
one thing with PS Now, and it would be good.
Like download local.
You got to be able to download your games.
Because it's streaming only, right?
It's a lot of them. So there's a section. It's nice. You can go to a section that's filtered called, download only. And I get in there, and there's a series of games that are only offered for download only. But then I look, and there's titles that I would want to play, but I can't as a streamer.
Stream and stream.
Like, I don't think that would work out.
No, it would.
You don't have the bandwidth, Captain.
It would be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like a great example would be the Yakuza games. But I just found out the Yakuza games are coming to the Xbox, and that they'll probably be downloadable.
Yeah, they will absolutely
They're
work because
coming.
that's how Xbox does it.
Yeah.
I think the one leg up that Xbox has here is their ability to capitalize on the PC market as well.
They have an advantage in that case.
They really do. Like they could bridge the gap in a major way. So I'm excited to see how that continues to happen over this next generation of gaming. I would agree. I think I was not always a PlayStation fan, and I don't play my PlayStation at all now, but I also gravitate more towards the games that are exclusive content to PlayStation as well.
Well, you and I are kind of in the same position. You have a gaming PC which you like to play on. Game Pass will work for you. You don't need if you want to play Halo Infinite. I believe it's coming out for PC as well.
It is.
Yeah. So
Which is going to be dope.
it's going to be really dope, and that'll be like the first current Halo game I might even play, right? Which I haven't really ever done.
Love that.
So you're just like me, Locke, where I'll get the PS4 to supplement my library so I can play The Last of Us and Tsushima and Horizons, right?
Exactly. Like the
Switch also is in that.
right.
In that
like
loop.
the only time I'm going to fire up my PlayStation in the foreseeable future is for Last of Us 2.
Right.
And then I'll turn it off, and I probably won't turn it on again unless there's another compelling title that will only be on the PlayStation 4, right?
Tsushima is supposed to be here this year as well. I don't know if that's something that you're into.
Probably
but,
won't be.
yeah.
But to your point,
I
right?
like how it looks.
Yeah,
I might do it.
Like you, like
I'm
again,
totally doing it.
you're
for sure.
doing it for that reason, for exclusivity alone,
Right.
Which that's why the Horizon thing is so big, right? Even if it
I
takes a
think-
while to get there, if the titles make their way to PC, it means that Sony really needs to step up their game in
I'm
other
hearing
ways.
people talk. This is the word on the street with the PC release of Horizon. They want to release that this coming month, right, on PC. Get people who haven't even touched the game, PC players, to play it. Horizon 2 launch title, PS5.
Sure. It'll go number one on the Twitch directory because everybody's going to be playing it again. There's going to be a lot of hype and talk about it. And bam,
Horizon 2.
Horizon 2.
And then guess what? All those players want to play that game, right? That's like a way.
Right.
That's a way to dip your toe, give people a little bit of the carrot, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Any other thoughts, guys?
No. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, man. How's this? Is a good place to wrap up?
This is
You
a
ready
great
to wrap
place,
it up.
yeah.
All right.
Wrap it up.
Thanks for joining us and listening, everybody out there. I've been Neo Ayoshi. You can follow me at Twitter at Neo_Ayoshi, at twitch.tv/Neo Ayoshi when I go live and stream. Probably see some Tarkov and Monster Hunter.
Sick. I am not at Trip Zero TV. When we refresh the stream, it remained there.
Oh, it did.
But
It
it's
put it
okay.
back.
Hey. We don't need to do it now. I am Lock and Key. You can find me on Twitter at Lock_Key. Follow me there. If I've been trying to stream more and more, but if I do go live, I would be tweeting it out if it were to happen. I will definitely be streaming the re-release of Trials on the 13th. That'll be big. So
That'll be a good watch.
So come by for that. Hopefully I'll be on the podcast again between now and then. But yeah, really glad to be back. Follow me there and hit me up on Twitter.
And this is Felix Hergood on Twitch and Mixer. Felix Hergood is all together, smushed together. So I play a lot of Fallout 76 on both Xbox and PlayStation. On the 7th of April, which is the release of the Wastelanders, which is the new free world-changing DLC for Fallout, I'm going to be playing entirely on my Xbox. I think we're going to have a squad of like 8 total people in there.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are coming in for that. And then I'm going to have a smaller squad on the 8th. I'm going to be playing entirely on the PS4 that day. So
You're sick.
yeah, it's going to be good.
Monster.
You're a sick man.
I'm no life in it.
Yeah, yeah.
No life in it for
Yeah.
sure. I'm so proud of you. You're like, I learned that word.
I learned it. I never even heard that. No life in it. That's great.
Well, guys, we'll see you next week. Thank you for joining.
Later.
See ya.
See ya.